Is Steffy Forrester finally showing her true colors as a corporate tyrant? Or is Hope Logan just looking for a convenient scapegoat for her own failing career? Think about that for a second, because it's a big question that's hanging over all of us right now. We are literally watching a legacy shift in real time, and let's be honest, it is not just about fashion or dresses. It is about who actually has the right to breathe in that Forrester boardroom. Was Ridge's decision to keep Steffy as the sole power player really just about business? Or was it a calculated strike to remind the Logans exactly where they stand in the pecking order? We're diving deep into the explosive May 21st episode where the masks finally slip, the office walls start closing in, and a shocking family secret threatens to destroy the one bit of peace Electra Forrester thought she had. Let's set the stage here, because the atmosphere at Forrester Creations is currently more toxic than a spilled bottle of industrial dye. We just saw a massive power shift where Ridge decided to keep Steffy in that co-CEO seat. And in doing so, he basically slammed the door right in Brooke Logan's face. And we know what that means. It's a door slammed in Hope's face too. This isn't just some boring corporate reorganization. It's a psychological eviction. Hope had pinned every single one of her professional hopes on her mother, Brooke, becoming co-CEO so she could save her hope for the future line. But then Ridge chose his daughter over his destiny. If we look at this move by Ridge, it feels like a desperate attempt to keep the peace with his daughter, but you have to wonder about the cost. He's essentially telling the woman he loves that her daughter's career is just collateral damage. This sets up that high-stakes confrontation we see on May 21st, where Hope finally reaches her breaking point. She's not the polite, soft-spoken Logan we're used to seeing anymore. She is a woman backed into a corner, and she's realizing that having Forrester in her name doesn't actually mean anything if Steffy is the one holding the keys. While all this is going down, Electra is actually thriving in the jewelry department, but she has no idea that her past is about to walk through the front door and shatter everything. So let's talk about Steffy. She is doubling down on her decision to block Hope's line, and she keeps claiming it's purely about the business and the numbers. But let's be real for a second. On this show, it is almost never just about business. Steffy is using her CEO title like a weapon to get back the control she feels like she's been losing in her personal life. By refusing to give Hope a relaunch date, she isn't just managing inventory. She is managing her rival. This is a strategic move to show Hope that even if they share a family tree, only one of them actually owns the forest. On the other side of things, Hope is spiraling internally. Can you imagine the gut punch of realizing your own mother couldn't, or maybe wouldn't fight hard enough to secure your future? Hope feels like she is settling for scraps. And that is a pretty devastating place to be for someone who has always tried to be the good person in the family. She isn't just mad at Steffy. She is grieving the version of Forrester Creations where she felt safe and valued. This explosion at Steffy is really an explosion of years of resentment toward the entire Forrester dynasty. Think about it this way. Hope for the future has become a metaphor for Hope's own status in the world. If the line is stalled, then Hope is stalled. Steffy isn't just blocking a fashion line. She's blocking Hope's identity. My take on this? Steffy is intentionally dragging her feet just to see if Hope will finally break and leave. It's a game of corporate chicken. Steffy wants to be the one who forced the Logans out without ever actually having to fire them. She wants to keep her hands clean while she watches them walk away. If we look at the psychology here, Steffy's behavior is classic territorial protection. After everything she's been through with Sheila and the threats to her marriage, the boardroom is the one place where she feels like she can be invincible. Her ego is being fed by the ability to say no to a Logan. On the flip side, Hope is moving out of that helpless state and into a fight-or-flight mode. She has used Brooke as a shield for so long that now, without that shield, she has to become the sword herself. Now, we have to pivot to Electra because her story is taking a really dark psychological turn. She has been doing so well at Forrester, finally feeling like she moved past the trauma of those AI-generated nudes that Remy released. But the shocking truth, she learns on May 21st, isn't just a plot twist. It is a total violation of her new life. Finding out that Dylan, who she thought was her best friend and the person she could trust, is actually Remy's cousin? That is the ultimate betrayal. For Electra, this isn't just a secret. It is about her safety. When you've been victimized the way she was, your circle of trust is already tiny. Learning that her safe person is related to her abuser makes her feel like she's being watched, even when she's alone. You have to wonder if her heart is just racing as she realizes the person she cried to about Remy might have been reporting back to him this whole time. The fact that the show is tying Dylan to Remy is a brilliant, but very cruel way to force Electra back into the fire. I honestly don't think this is a coincidence. Dylan hiding this fact suggests she knew exactly how much damage it would do. It makes you look at their whole friendship differently. Was Dylan ever really a friend? Or was she just a scout for Remy? This turns the jewelry department from a place of creativity into a gilded cage for Electra. I have to say, I am 100% on Electra's side here. Forgiving Dylan for hiding something this big is a lot to ask of anyone. In the soap world, secrets are how everyone does business, but a secret involving AI-generated abuse is just on a different level of messed up. Dylan should have been honest from the start. And as for Hope, I think she has every right to explode. Being told it's not personal, while someone you share a sibling with is dismantling your entire livelihood, is just the height of gaslighting. Dylan's choice to hide the truth probably comes from a mix of guilt and a desperate need to be accepted. She probably knew that the truth would end everything with Electra, so she chose the comfort of a lie instead. But that lie is a wall. For Electra, this discovery is probably going to trigger a massive step backward in her ability to trust anyone. She might even start pushing Will away because she'll be looking for connections everywhere she turns. Things are about to get a lot worse before they get any better. On Thursday, May 21st, Hope doesn't just ask for a meeting. She storms in. She is demanding a yes or no answer on the future of her line. No more corporate talk, no more we'll see. This is the moment the Logan-Forrester war goes from a cold war to a very hot one. Steffy of course doubles down, and that only makes Hope even angrier. The tension is so thick in that office you could probably cut it with a pair of shears. Hope is finally realizing that as long as Steffy is the boss, hope for the future is basically dead. This is pushing Hope toward a radical choice. Leaving Forrester Creations for Logan. Liam has been whispering in her ear for a while now, trying to convince her that she belongs with her own family at Logan. After this face-off, his arguments are starting to sound like a way to save herself rather than just giving up. Meanwhile, Electra's discovery is going to create a ripple effect that touches everyone. If she finds out Remy is actually in Los Angeles or, even worse, lurking around the building, the jewelry department is going to become a total disaster zone of emotional breakdowns. The escalation here is really about the loss of home. For Hope, she's losing her professional home. For Electra, she's losing the mental home she built where she thought she was safe from her past. So, here's what I think is going to happen next. Hope is going to quit. Honestly, she has to. If she stays, she is basically saying it's okay to be a second-class citizen in the Forrester Empire. My prediction is she takes HFTF over to Logan. That would create a massive rivalry that isn't just about family drama, but about actual market share. Steffy thinks she's winning right now by blocking the line, but she might be creating her own biggest competitor. And for Electra, I think we're going to see a much darker side of her personality come out. She's not just going to sit there and cry. She's going to lash out. We know she has a history of physical reactions when she feels cornered. Remember how she shoved and punched Luna? If she finds Dylan or Remy in her space, it is not going to be pretty. I also think Will's romantic move is going to get caught in the crossfire of Electra's new trust issues. How can a relationship survive when you're convinced that everyone you know is a liar? I really want to hear what you think about this because this episode is a total game changer. Whose side are you on in that boardroom? Do you think Steffy is right to focus on the bottom line? Or is she clearly just using her power to settle a personal score? Let me know if you are Team Steffy or Team Hope in the comments. Also, do you think that friendship between Electra and Dylan can even be saved? If you were in Electra's shoes, could you ever forgive your best friend for hiding something that traumatic from you? Type yes or no and tell me why you feel that way. This really feels like the turning point we've been waiting for all season. Hope is moving from being a victim to being a fighter, and Electra is being forced to face her demons head-on. It's explosive, it's transformative, and honestly, it's exactly why we love this show. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the corporate chaos and the personal drama on the bold and the beautiful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We are tracking every single twist, every betrayal, and every slap, so you definitely don't want to miss out. Turn on those notifications because tomorrow, Hope's career officially hangs in the balance. You won't want to miss our breakdown of the fallout from all of this. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And I will see you in the next one where the drama never stops. So let's get right into it. Is Steffy Forrester finally showing everyone she's a corporate tyrant? Or is Hope Logan just looking for someone to blame for her own failing career? Think about that for a second, because we are watching a massive legacy shift happening in real time, and it isn't just about fashion or pretty dresses. It's really about who has the right to even exist in that Forrester boardroom. The funny thing is, we have to wonder if Ridge's decision to keep Steffy as the only power player was actually about business, or was it just a cold way to remind the Logans exactly where they stand? Today we are digging deep into that explosive May 21st episode where the masks finally come off, the office walls start closing in, and a family secret comes out that might just ruin the one bit of peace Electra Forrester thought she had. Let's look at the situation at Forrester Creations right now, because it is more toxic than a spilled bottle of industrial dye. We just saw this huge power move where Ridge decided to keep Steffy in the co-CEO seat, and he basically slammed the door right in Brooke Logan's face. And that means he slammed it in Hope's face too. This isn't just some boring office shuffle. It feels more like a psychological eviction. Hope had basically bet her entire professional life on her mom, Brooke, getting that job so she could save the Hope for the Future line. But Ridge chose his daughter over his destiny, and you have to wonder what that says about his priorities. If we really analyze this, Ridge's move looks like a desperate attempt to stay on his daughter's good side. But at what cost? He's essentially telling the woman he supposedly loves that her daughter's career is just collateral damage. This is exactly why that face-off on May 21st is so intense. Hope has reached her breaking point. She isn't the polite, quiet Logan we used to know. She is a woman backed into a corner, and she's finally realizing that having the name Forrester doesn't mean a thing if Steffy is the one holding all the keys. Meanwhile, Electra is actually doing great in the jewelry department, but she has no clue that her past is about to walk through the door and ruin everything. So think about Steffy for a minute. She is doubling down on her choice to block Hope's line, and she keeps saying it's just about business and numbers. But let's be real, on this show it is almost never just business. Steffy is using her CEO title like a weapon to get back the control she feels she's been losing in her own life. By refusing to even give Hope a date for a relaunch, she isn't just managing inventory. She is managing her rival. It's a strategic move to show Hope that while they might share a family tree, only one of them actually owns the forest. Inside, Hope is totally spiraling. I mean, can you imagine how much it hurts to realize your own mother couldn't, or maybe wouldn't fight hard enough to protect your future? Hope feels like she is settling for scraps. And that is a pretty dark place to be for someone who always tries to be the good person in the room. She isn't just mad at Steffy. She's grieving the version of Forrester Creations where she actually felt safe and like she mattered. This big blow-up at Steffy is actually years of resentment toward the entire Forrester family finally coming to the surface. The funny thing is, Hope for the Future has become a metaphor for Hope's own life. If the line is stuck, then Hope is stuck. Steffy isn't just blocking a clothing line. She is blocking Hope's identity. My take is that Steffy is dragging her feet on purpose just to see if Hope will finally snap and quit. It's a game of corporate chicken. Steffy wants to be the one who forced the Logans out without actually having to fire them so she can keep her hands clean. If we look at the psychology here, Steffy is acting like she's protecting her territory. After everything she's been through with Sheila and the threats to her marriage, the office is the one place she feels like she can't be touched. Her ego loves being able to say no to a Logan. On the other hand, Hope is moving out of that helpless phase and right into fight or flight mode. She has used Brooke as a shield for so long, and now that the shield is gone, she has to become the sword himself. Now we have to talk about Electra because her story is taking a really dark turn. She's been doing so well at Forrester and finally felt like she was over the trauma of those AI-generated nudes that Remy leaked. But the truth she finds out on May 21st isn't just a surprise, it is a total violation. Finding out that Dylan, her supposed best friend, is actually Remy's cousin is the ultimate betrayal. For Electra, this isn't just about a secret, it's about her safety. When you've been hurt the way she was, your circle of trust is already tiny. Knowing her safe person is related to her abuser makes her feel like she's being watched, even when she's alone. You have to wonder if Dylan was ever really a friend, or was she just a scout for Remy? This turns the jewelry department from a place of creativity into a golden cage for Electra. I have to say I am totally on Electra's side here. asking her to forgive Dylan for hiding something that big is a lot. In the world of soaps, secrets are everywhere, but a secret involving that kind of abuse is just wrong. Dylan should have been honest from day one. And as for Hope, she's right to lose it, being told it's not personal. While someone you share a sibling with is destroying your career is the definition of gaslighting. Dylan probably hid the truth because she felt guilty or was desperate to be liked. She likely knew the truth would end the friendship, so she chose to live a lie. But that lie is a wall between them now. For Electra, this is going to make it even harder to trust anyone. She might even push Will away because she'll be looking for secrets everywhere. Things are going to get much worse soon. On May 21st, Hope doesn't just ask for a meeting. She storms in. She wants a simple yes or no on her line, no more business talk. No more we'll see. This is when the war between the Logans and the Forresters goes from cold to hot. Steffy doubles down, and that just makes Hope even more determined. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a pair of shears. Hope is finally seeing that as long as Steffy is in charge, her line is effectively dead. This is pushing Hope toward a huge choice, leaving Forrester for Logan. Liam has been trying to convince her that she belongs with her own family, and after this fight, his plan is starting to look like a way out instead of just giving up. At the same time, Electra's discovery is going to affect everyone. If she finds out Remy is actually in town or hanging around the office, the jewelry department is going to become a total disaster zone of breakdowns. The real issue here is the loss of home. Hope is losing her professional home, and Electra is losing the mental home where she thought she was safe. My prediction? Hope is going to quit. She has to. If she stays, she's just accepting that she's a second-class citizen at Forrester. I think she'll take her line over to Logan and become Steffy's biggest rival. Steffy thinks she's winning by blocking Hope, but she might just be creating her own worst nightmare. And for Electra, we're probably going to see a much darker side of her. She's not just going to cry, she's going to lash out. She has a history of hitting people when she's cornered. Remember Luna? If she sees Remy or Dylan, it isn't going to be pretty. I also think Will's romantic move is going to get caught in the middle of her trust issues. Can you really have a relationship when you think everyone is a liar? I really want to know what you think about all this corporate chaos. Whose side are you on in the boardroom? Do you think Steffy is actually making a smart business move? Or is she just being mean to Hope for no reason? Let me know if you are Team Steffy or Team Hope in the comments. Also, do you think Electra should ever forgive Dylan? If your best friend hid the fact that they were related to your abuser, could you ever trust them again? This feels like the turning point of the whole season. Hope is becoming a fighter, and Electra is facing her nightmares head-on. It's explosive, and it's why we keep watching. If you like this breakdown of the drama on The Bold and the Beautiful, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. We are following every twist and every betrayal, so don't miss out. Turn on notifications because tomorrow Hope's career is on the line, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one where the drama never stops.